in what could be a preview of the NFC Championship game, preview of one of these teams representing the conference in the Super Bowl. The Seattle Seahawks take on the Los Angeles Rams. This game is there are no shortage of storylines in this game. You've got two quarterbacks who are up there for MVP. You've got two head coaches that are up there for Coach of the Year. You got two great young defenses playing incredibly well. You've got elite receivers to be able to throw the ball to. It is all there for Seahawks at Rams. Which side of the ball do you want to start talking about, Dalton? You want to talk about the Seahawks or the Rams for this one?
I'm taking Seattle's offense. And
right.
and these teams, obviously, with their records and the offensive production, the defenses have been so good. These two teams are so evenly matched. But I think the one distinct advantage, I believe, for the Rams is going to be their defensive line, especially on the interior against this young Seattle offensive line that now Jalen Sundell, who had been starting at center all season, got hurt last week. It's going to be Oluwatimi at center, which he started for them last year. He's got experience, so I think he has a chance to succeed in there. But the interior pass protection, especially, I think has been the weakest part of this Seattle team. So I have some concern about that matchup with Kobe Turner and Poona Ford and Braden Fisk on the inside. Sam Darnold, though, has been able to work around it. He may be as impressive as the passing grades and the touchdowns and the big-time throws and everything he's doing. I think, to me, he's doing all that, and this year he's got a career-low average time to throw. Last year he was right around 3.1 seconds in Minnesota. This year, 2.64. That's the sixth fastest in the NFL. So he's processing faster than ever and getting rid of the football faster than ever. And I want to focus on throws released in under 2.5 seconds. Sam Darnold, 87.7 passing grade on these throws, second best in the NFL, 10th in yards per attempt, 6.1 yard average depth of target. Might not seem high, but when you're getting rid of the football this quickly, that's the fifth highest in the league. Still attacking downfield, still with the second most big-time throws in the league in throws released under 2.5 seconds. So I think this is going to be a huge factor because he's not going to have a choice in this game against this defensive line, especially Verse and Young off the edge and those guys on the interior. Like I mentioned, Sam Darnold and the improvement in the processing and the quick release that he's had this year, along with the downfield explosiveness, is going to be a major factor in Seattle's offensive success this week.
So on the Rams side of things, on their offensive side of things, I should say, I cannot wait for this chess matchup because the Seahawks, when they got Nicky Manwari back and when they got him into the lineup, remember, Devon Witherspoon was out with injury. And so they put Nicky Manwari in the slot. And we all marveled at the athleticism, the size combination, how well he played as a slot defender. But the thought still remained, well, what do you do with Devon Witherspoon when he comes back, right? Because he is so great in the slot because of how good of a run defender he is, the stop and start ability, how he can mirror and match guys when they have those two-way goes in space. What do you do? And the solution for them has been, we're going to keep them both out there. We're going to play dime. Over the last 2 weeks specifically, the Seahawks have the sixth most defensive snaps in dime personnel. And when you rope in nickel as well, nickel and dime, they have the most of any team. So they like to keep their defensive backs on the field because the Seattle Seahawks are at their best when they have that speed and specifically when they are able to get those two superstars in Nicky Manwari and Devon Witherspoon out there on the field in those slot situations to be able to play in space and be a mismatch neutralizer. Well, Dalton, in the chess match of offense versus defense, when the defense goes smaller with speed, what do you want to do as the offense? You want to go heavy, right? You want to be able to put heavy personnel out there. Well, it just happens the Los Angeles Rams have the second most snaps in 12 and 13 personnel. So that's 2 or 3 tight ends out there this season. And they have a 95.6 offensive grade in heavy personnel, so 12 or 13 personnel. I cannot wait to see this chess matchup because what's the counter? Where do we go here? How do these coaches try to stay one step ahead of the other? Who is one step ahead of the other right off the bat? And then who's able to adjust quicker? Is there any sort of catch up or flip of the script? What happens? That is the part of this matchup I cannot wait to see. It is two of the best units, personnels on either side of the ball in the NFL. One is a major strength versus a major weakness when you look at the size versus speed, because if Los Angeles very comfortable going heavier in their personnel, and is Seattle willing to get more into their base formation? Are they willing to get more into their base? And if they are, is that effective, knowing that hasn't been what they have run over the last couple of weeks? And then when the Rams naturally spread it out sort of as that next move to try to stay one step ahead, is Seattle very quick, and can they even determine some of the personnel ahead of time with being aggressive and getting Witherspoon and Nicky Manwari out there for this battle? I can't wait to see this one. Ultimately, this one is in LA. Rams are playing hot. I'm going to go with the Rams here. I'm going to say the Rams win this game 28-23, but man, this is going to be a very fun one. I can't wait for it.
No, absolutely. This is going to be a fantastic football game, and the personnel matching, or maybe not matching in the case of Seattle's defense, is going to be fun. And I think, because I was looking at this earlier too, I'm going to go on a rant about Kyle Hamilton with the Ravens with this later. The Seahawks for the season actually lead the NFL in their percentage of plays where they have 5 or more defensive backs on the field, whether it's nickel or dime or more than that, right? And I think what this game is going to be, I think if I had a prediction for it, Trev, I don't think they're going to adjust anything. I think what they're going to do is just operate essentially with Nicky Manwari as their third base linebacker, right? And I think what you're seeing out of the NFL in general, players like Nicky Manwari, Kyle Hamilton, Shamari Connor, Derwin James. I think more and more teams are going to look at that as a very valuable position, right? That, for a few years now, there's been talked about the big nickel, right? It used to be just called a strong safety, and it was the 8th guy in the box. Now they call it the big nickel, or however you want to call it, with these guys. Kyle Hamilton's doing a similar thing in Baltimore, I'm going to talk about later, where that's essentially your third linebacker. It's just built differently than it used to be, and they're able to cover. Yes, they're a little bit smaller. Yes, they have to be tough enough. But when you look at the size of some of these guys, like Derwin James, like Kyle Hamilton, like Nicky Manwari, this is the role that they're meant to play in. And Mike McDonald's done a great job of assimilating Manwari into that to help his run defense, because that's really, to me, what I see from all of these guys is that they're effective in run defense. It's not the same as a nickel that's 5'10 and 190, and their coverage first, like a Michael Carter for somebody like that for the Eagles, or a Trent McDuffie even when he gets in there in a nickel. It's a different animal when you have one of these guys in there. So I think Seattle's going to stay right there. Instead of trying to mix and match all over the place when the tight ends get on the field, they're going to rely on Manwari to try to stop the run. But I'm with you. I think the one advantage, the concern that I talked about with the Rams defensive line against the Seattle offensive line, especially with what that may do in the run game as well, I think the Rams have a little bit of a trench advantage here. I'm taking them 27-24.